So very good evening to all of you. We started yesterday the chapter breathing and respiration. So the things that we discussed yesterday was the difference between breathing and respiration, and then we discussed about different respiratory organs used by different organisms. Although we discussed this details in more detail in animal kingdom classification. For better detail, you can check those lectures. Then we talked about the description of human respiratory system. So we know that there are conducting part, air passage, and lungs. Lungs are full of bronchus, bronchioles, and alveoli. So now, today we will talk about the respiration. What are the steps of physical respiration, not the chemical one, that how it is taking place? So the first step in respiration is pulmonary ventilation. Means what? Ventilation is a procedure where breathing takes place. Breathing is having inhalation, and so this is called pulmonary ventilation. The next step is gaseous exchange between lung alveoli and blood. So that means blood will carry the oxygen to the tissue and it will deposit the carbon dioxide collected from tissue to the lungs. So there is a gas exchange. Third step is transport. Now the gases are present in the blood. How they are getting transported to different part of the body? Are they like carried by hemoglobin, or they are going by dissolved state, or they are forming some kind of organic or inorganic compound? That we are going to discuss in gaseous transport part. Next, again there will be gaseous exchange. This time it will be between the blood and tissue. So whosoever, it's a simple diffusion method. So wherever the amount of gas is more, it will go from that place to the place where it is less. Okay. And last is cellular or tissue respiration. Okay. So cell or tissue will go for respiration by this method. So first we will talk about mechanism of breathing. So breathing is, in colloquial language we call it inhale and exhale. In fact, in yoga teachers, these are two favorite word of them, hai na? Saas lo, saas chodo. So in technical term, they are called inspiration and expiration. Inspiration means intake of air in the lungs, and expiration means expelling of the air in the lungs. So there is a very nice flow chart by which the process of inspiration is mentioned. If you want to store something into a dabba, do you agree that the dabba should be empty? So when you want to put air inside your lungs should be swelled or dilated to maximum of its capacity so that air can be accommodated inside. लंग्स अगर एकदम दबा हुआ होगा, पिचका हुआ होगा, तो उसमें एयर जाएगा? धीरे धीरे पिचके हुए लंग्स स्वेल करेगा कब? जब उसमें एयर जाएगा. इट इज सेम एज बलून. सबने बर्थडे में बलून तो फुलाया होगा ना? बलून कितना साइज का होता है? छोटा सा साइज. एयर अंदर जाने के बाद वो फूल जाता. सेम इज फॉर लंग्स. So what happens here? The diaphragm contracts. So in this image, you can see the location of diaphragm here. Can you see diaphragm? So this diaphragm will contract. And apart from that, in between ribs here, see, can you see the rib cage? There are muscles which will, see, if rib is like that, it will make rib like this. So what will happen? In case of this, the thing that will happen is, this is the thoracic cage, isn't it? This part is the thoracic region where lung is accommodated. As the intercostal muscle contract means it will, the ribs will open up like this. So it will increase the left to right. That means the diagonal volume of the lungs. Sorry, the thoracic region. रिब के जैसे था ये ऐसा हो गया, तो आपके लंग्स को अब फूलने के लिए मैक्सिमम क्या मिल रही है, जगह मिल रही है, because lungs are protected from all sides via rib. Second is diaphragm contract. जब diaphragm contract होता है, then it will go down or it will be flat rather than. तो ऊपर नीचे भी एक चीज ऐसी थी, अब ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होकर स्प्रेड हो गया, तो व्हाट विल हैपन, more volume will be like available vertically. So that means lungs is now having enough area to expand. Rib cage भी अपने region को बढ़ा दिया है उसने, and diaphragm is also contracted, so it is having more area. So you can see here in this case, the ribs and sternum lift up and volume of dorsoventral axis increase. So you know that this part of us is ventral part, this part is dorsal part. So dorsoventral axis increase होना मतलब कैसे increase होना, ऐसे increase, और ventral vertical size increase होना मतलब ऐसे. So lung is now having enough space to expand. What is the next step now? In next step, you will see that the thoracic volume increase. Obviously, it will increase. So thoracic pressure decrease. What will happen? If volume is increasing, pressure is decreasing. अब तो सब expert पढ़ चुके हो, P1 V1 equal to P2 V2 पढ़ चुके हो, so you know that. So thoracic pressure जैसे decrease होगा, volume will increase and lungs will expand and the pulmonary volume will increase. So how lungs is expanding? Actually, alveoli are expanding individually, which will cumulatively increasing the volume of the lungs. Now, obviously, if you are talking about the volume of lungs increasing, so that means now previously some amount of air was there, volume when increased, the air pressure should increase or decrease? Decrease. It should always decrease. So here comes the option. You know, nature loves equilibrium. उसको कहीं पे भी ज्यादा कम पसंद नहीं. आप गर्म पानी रख देते हो तो क्या हो जाता है? ठंडा कोल्ड ड्रिंक्स रख देते हो तो, है ना? तो सिमिलर वे में जैसे ही लंग्स में एयर का प्रेशर ड्रॉप होगा, अब क्या होगा? एयर एटमॉस्फेयर से लंग्स के अंदर जाएगा. You should feel these things. How much time we took to describe this? 5-7 minutes minimum, है ना? Your lungs is doing it every day effortlessly. You don't realize. So at least to pay tribute to your lungs, you should remember these steps, isn't it? Otherwise, वो पूरा मान जाएगा तो मुश्किल है. So after these, beta, we will learn about the next topic, that is exhalation. If you can remember the process of inspiration, expiration is exactly opposite. Now, but diaphragm contract होगा, lungs contract होगा तो ऊपर कैसे जाए? तो अगर वो और ऊपर जा रहा है तो thoracic cavity vertically कैसे बढ़ेगा? See the image. It is curved. Diaphragm is always curved. But curved में भी curvature का difference होता है ना. You see in case of exhalation and you see in case of inhalation. Can you note the difference? It will never be straight, but the bending will change, no beta. So obviously there the muscles and the diaphragm was contracting. Here in this case it will be relaxing. As soon as it is relaxing, the volume of the thoracic cavity will be backing into its original position. Now the thoracic volume decrease. So lungs need to accommodate pressure increase. So lungs inside the lung air का pressure भी बढ़ेगा. So automatically lung contract and the air will come out. जैसे ही thoracic volume decrease होगा, pressure वहां पे increase होगा, lungs will contract. And as lungs will contract, the air will come out. Understood? Lungs relax होगा तो volume उसका बढ़ेगा घटेगा? Lungs के बारे में मैं बात कर रही हूँ. I'm not talking about intercostal muscle and diaphragm. तुमको बलून में से हवा निकालनी है तो उसको रिलैक्स रखनी है क्या दबानी पड़ती है? अंडरस्टूड? हाँ, गुड ऑब्जर्वेशन. So there are two type of expiration and inspiration. You can understand that. One is the one when I'm talking with you, I don't realize that I'm inspiring and expiring, but I'm doing it constantly. So that type of inspiration and expiration is normal one. And sometimes when we do, can you see your abdomen is getting also affected, which is not done in normal case. Try. Can you see some pressure here in the abdomen? So during that case, the internal intercostal muscles and abdominal muscles will also play a prominent role in this step. Okay, understood? So there are different types of volume. Why so many types of volume? Because volume of lungs vary. That are you intaking it forcibly or intaking it in a relaxed manner? How you are intaking it? That is the way it will be decided. So there are various volume. First, I'll go to tidal volume. That is the volume of air inspired or expired during normal respiration. The volume of air that we. तो इसको कैसे याद रखना है कि टाइडल वॉल्यूम क्या है? आपको पता है हमें कुछ करनी नहीं पड़ती है, अपने आप ही टाइड आती है जाती है. तो इसको याद रखना कि टाइडल वॉल्यूम इज समथिंग व्हिच इज अ वेरी नॉर्मल एंड नेचुरल process. You don't have to specifically do anything. So how much is the volume? It's about 500 ml. That is 6,000 to 8,000 ml per minute. Okay. next volume, that is inspiratory reserve volume. What is this? If I'm extra, I'm extra putting extra effort to inhale something. That is extra I am doing, taking inside, which is reserved material, which is extra. So with this, you always remember that inspiratory reserve volume is tidal volume में जितना एयर अंदर जा रहा है उससे ज्यादा अगर हम फोर्सबली ले, so how much is this 2500 to 3000 ml. Okay. Now expiratory reserve volume. Similarly, if this is normal, some amount of extra is coming out, no, that is expiratory reserve volume, that is 1000 to 1100 ml. I remember it like this. Now when I am speaking, you people are laughing. After some time, if I ask you question, what is expiratory reserve volume, you will mix up. So it is suggested to always do. इसके sums भी आते हैं in NET exam. There are formula. So what is residual volume? Have you ever seen that how you preserve your raincoats during summer season or post monsoon? कैसे रखते हो आप? बैग में रखते हो? मैं समझी नहीं. ऐसे ही बैग में रख देते. हाँ, बीच में पाउडर क्यों लगाया जाता है? The same is applicable to lungs. Do you think if you are keeping your lungs at any moment, you are keeping your lungs totally empty, there are chances of sticking the membranes of alveoli, which may be problematic. So some amount of air, doesn't matter how much you try, how much forcibly you expire, some amount of water will be always remaining into the lungs. थोड़ा बहुत रहेगा ही. This is known as respiratory residual volume. So क्या मीन? Now what is inspiratory capacity? The capacity is total. That means normal inspiration plus inspiratory reserve volume. Okay. Now what is expiratory capacity? It is equal to tidal volume plus expiratory reserve volume. What is functional residual capacity? After normal expiration, that is expiratory reserve volume and residual volume, both of these combine to form the functional residual capacity. Expiratory reserve volume and reserve volume. After expiration, whatever amount is there, that means forceful expiration plus normally जितना रह जाता है, both of them will be combined to form the functional residual capacity. Okay. सबकी हंसी धीरे धीरे जा रही. So what is vital capacity of lung? The volume of air, if you forcefully expire, after that the volume you can intake is known as vital capacity. It is equal to expiratory reserve volume plus tidal volume plus inspiratory reserve volume. Why? It is sum total of 3. आपने टाइडल वॉल्यूम यानी नॉर्मल सिचुएशन में जितना एक्सपायर किया फोर्सफुली एक्स्ट्रा जो एक्सपायर किया, और क्योंकि आपने फोर्सफुली एक्सपायर किया, अब उतना तो अंदर जाना ही पड़ेगा ना, तो दैट्स वाई आप फोर्सफुल एक्सपायर करने के बाद जो इंस्पायर कर रहे हो वो नॉर्मल इंस्पिरेशन नहीं हो सकता। इसीलिए ERV एंड टाइडल वॉल्यूम के साथ ये IRV यानी इंस्पिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम भी ऐड किया जाता है। यू हैव टू रिमेम्बर ऑल दीज फॉर्मूलाज। तो टोटल लंग कैपेसिटी क्या है? इट इज इक्वल टू रिजर्व रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम प्लस एक्सपिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम प्लस टाइडल वॉल्यूम प्लस इंस्पिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम, or we can mention it as vital capacity plus residual volume. It is 5,000 to 6,000. Okay, so I request all of you to quickly let us have a recap so that you can remember these things. So what is tidal volume? Okay, so it's normal means it's very minor, 500 ml. Okay, 500 ml per breathe in or out. Okay, मतलब जब मैं at a time I am taking 500 ml air inside or outside, but when I am talking about minute, it increase because per minute we have minimum 14 to 16 inspiration and expiration. That's it. So what is inspiratory reverse volume? Who is going to tell me? That is called inspiratory reserve volume. Very good. What is expiratory reserve volume? जब हम फोर्सफुली एयर को बाहर निकालते हैं, जो एक्स्ट्रा आता है, टाइडल वॉल्यूम तो आएगा ही, उसके अलावा जो एक्स्ट्रा है. So what is residual volume? So if we are forcefully expire, even after that the amount of air present is residual volume. So what is inspiratory capacity? कितना हम इंस्पायर कर सकते हैं? It will be always tidal volume यानी नॉर्मल वाला प्लस तुम फोर्सफुली जो ले रहे हो वही अपनी मैक्सिमम कैपेसिटी होगी ना. So inspiratory capacity will be always equal to tidal volume plus expiratory reserve volume. Expiratory capacity का भी सेम है, normal tidal volume plus expiratory reserve volume. Rutu, any doubt बेटा? I didn't understand. बोलो. It is defined like that, but maximum capacity is always equal to tidal volume plus expiratory reserve volume. नॉर्मल इंस्पिरेशन कर रहे हो, इंस्पिरेशन, नॉर्मल इंस्पिरेशन करोगे तभी तो तुम एक्सपिरेटरी टोटल कैपेसिटी देख सकते हो ना. हियर इट इज मेंशन्ड एज नॉर्मल इंस्पिरेशन, नॉर्मल एक्सपिरेशन नहीं, पढ़ो. एंड वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एक्सपिरेटरी कैपेसिटी. कंसिडर करो मैंने छोटा सा इंस्पायर किया, कैन आई गिव एक्सपिरेटरी कैपेसिटी? आई कैनॉट गिव ना. अगर नॉर्मल, मैंने जब तुमको पहली बार एक्सपिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम बताया था, कैसे बताया था? नॉर्मल इंस्पिरेशन के बाद ही तो बताया था ना. वैसे ही यहाँ आप देखोगे इंस्पिरेटरी कैपेसिटी इज ऑलवेज मेजर्ड आफ्टर नॉर्मल एक्सपिरेशन. अगर फोर्सफुल रहा तो करेक्ट वैल्यू मिलेगा ही नहीं ना। आइडल क्यों मिलेगा? there will be faulty calculation. That's why it should be, जब तुम इंस्पिरेटरी कैपेसिटी ले रहे हो उसके पहले वाला एक्सपिरेशन नॉर्मल होनी चाहिए, एक्सपिरेटरी कैपेसिटी ले रहे हो उसके पहले वाला इंस्पिरेशन नॉर्मल ही होना जरूरी है, इट्स रिक्वायर्ड। ओके, अंडरस्टूड? व्हाट इज फंक्शनल रेसिडुअल कैपेसिटी? दिस इज इक्वल टू रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम व्हिच इज नॉर्मल प्लस expiratory residual volume. So both of these will form the functional residual capacity. Now vital capacity is equal to what? Vital capacity, अब देखो, volume of air that can breathe in after forced expiration. तो अगर तब मैं forced expiration लिखूं, उसका मतलब इंस्पिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम और वाइटल कैपेसिटी में क्या फर्क रहेगा? आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट आई एम सेइंग? व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ इंस्पिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम? additional volume that can inspire by forcefully inspiration. Now when I am talking about इंस्पिरेटरी कैपेसिटी, उसमें अगर मैं नॉर्मल एक्सपिरेशन ना लिखूं तो उसमें और वाइटल कैपेसिटी में क्या फर्क होगा? यू लुक इनटू द फर्स्ट इंस्पिरेटरी रिजर्व, इंस्पिरेटरी कैपेसिटी का डेफिनेशन देखो. व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन? Now I am going to vital capacity. You see, read the definition. बस बस उतना बोलो. तो अगर दोनों सेम ही हो जाए, उसमें मैं अगर नॉर्मल ना रखूं, फोर्स रखूं, व्हाट विल बी द डिफरेंस बिटवीन वाइटल कैपेसिटी एंड नॉर्मल वन? आर यू गेटिंग व्हाट आई एम सेइंग? व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ, चलो एक्सपिरेटरी कैपेसिटी बोल. In normal inspiration, what is the definition of vital capacity? And volume of air that can breathe out after forced inspiration. तो अगर vital capacity भी forced inspiration expiration, वहां पे अपनी जो ये एक्सपिरेटरी कैपेसिटी है, इंस्पिरेटरी कैपेसिटी है, वो भी फोर्स्ड है, तो दोनों में क्या फर्क रहेगा? अंडरस्टूड? इसीलिए वाइटल कैपेसिटी जो होती है दैट इज इक्वल टू व्हाट? देखो, इंस्पिरेटरी कैपेसिटी इज इक्वल टू टीवी प्लस आईआरवी. व्हाट इज वाइटल कैपेसिटी? टीवी प्लस आईआरवी प्लस ईआरवी. ओके, वाई आई एम वहां पे आइदर टीवी प्लस ईआरवी, उसमें आईआरवी नहीं है, या फिर टीवी प्लस आईआरवी ईआरवी नहीं है. क्यों? क्योंकि जब मैं फोर्सफुली एक्सपायर करूंगी तब जितना मैंने फोर्सफुली एक्सपायर किया है उतने का जाएगा, जितना नॉर्मल जाता है उतने का जाएगा, प्लस मैं फोर्सफुली कंसिडर करो. अभी मैं एग्जांपल देती हूँ. इफ आई एम फोर्सफुली एक्सपायरिंग एंड देन आई एम फोर्सफुली इंस्पायरिंग, तो अब मेरे अंदर क्या क्या गया? जितना फोर्सफुली एक्सपायर किया था वो जाएगा, नॉर्मल जितनी जानी चाहिए जो अपनी टाइडल वॉल्यूम वो जाएगा, प्लस जितना मैंने फोर्सफुली इंस्पायर किया वो भी जाएगा. इज इट क्लियर? और अगर मैं नॉर्मल एक्सपायर करूं तो इसके बाद मैं इंस्पायर कर रही हूँ फोर्सफुली, कितना अंदर जाएगा? सिर्फ टाइडल वॉल्यूम जाएगा और फोर्सफुली इंस्पायर जितना किया मैंने आईआरवी जो है वो अंदर जाएगा. अंडरस्टूड? व्हाई आई एम टेकिंग टाइम बेटा? क्योंकि इसके रिलेटेड नीट पे बहुत क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड द फॉर्मूला. बायो में है मतलब. ओके, तो इज इट क्लियर? चलो अब आगे पढ़ते हैं, बोलो बेटा। इसमें ईआरबी को भी काउंट किया गया है बेटा। फंक्शनल रेसिडुअल कैपेसिटी इज इक्वल टू रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम प्लस एक्सपिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम। रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम की डेफिनेशन कौन तुमको पता है? तो नॉर्मल है, यानी तुम्हारे लंग्स में फोर्थ स्टेप तुम कर रहे हो, तुम क्या कर रहे हो? टाइडल वॉल्यूम प्लस एक्सपिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम। तो अगर तुम यहाँ पे फंक्शनल रेसिडुअल कैपेसिटी देख रहे हो, उसमें एक्सपिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम नहीं दे रहे, तुम्हारे लंग्स में कितना एयर रहेगा? जो रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम में रहता है प्लस एक्सपिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम तो रहेगा। वेरी गुड दैट यू पीपल आर आस्किंग। क्लियर एवरीवन? को थोड़ा सा ऐसा बोलो नहीं। प्रियांशु, रीवा, अगर आप लोगों को भी कोई डाउट है तो बेझिझक पूछो बेटा। इस पार्ट यू शुड बी हैबिचुएटेड विद। टाइडल वॉल्यूम मींस जितना नॉर्मली हम एयर बाहर निकालते हो या अंदर देते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड टाइडल। इंस्पिरेटरी कैपेसिटी जो होती है दैट इज टोटल तुम्हारी इंस्पिरेटरी कैपेसिटी, यानी तुम मैक्सिमम कितना एयर अपने अंदर से निकाल सकते हो, तो वो दैट विल बी इक्वल टू व्हाट? तुम्हारा जो टाइडल वॉल्यूम प्लस इंस्पिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम, जो फोर्सफुली इंस्पिरेशन के बाद एक्स्ट्रा अंदर जाता है। अब यहाँ इसको वापस से एक बार रिवाइज करेंगे, पूरी याद आना है, बताते जाओ एक एक जन क्या है। What is inspiratory reserve volume? हमेशा आपको बोलनी पड़ेगी बेटा, इंस्पिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम यानी द वन वी टेक आफ्टर फोर्सफुल इंस्पिरेशन। हो गया? अब एक्सपिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम, उसमें पर्सन एक्सपायर नहीं करता है, या डेफिनेशन इज नॉट करेक्ट। द अमाउंट ऑफ एयर कम आउट ऑफ लंग आफ्टर फोर्सफुल एक्सपिरेशन। We are all here talking about the volume of air. What is residual volume? Any kind of expiration. That's what you have to remember. That residual volume is always measured after forceful. Ab jo bacha, that is residual volume. What is inspiratory capacity? Plus volume. Expiratory capacity is equal to plus expiratory reserve volume. What is functional residual capacity? I am not asking about the definition. So that will be equal to what? That is correct. Tidal volume कहाँ से आ रहा है? That is expiratory reserve volume plus residual volume. आप समझो रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम और फंक्शनल रेसिड्यू कैपेसिटी का डिफरेंस. आपको मैं बोल रही हूँ करो तो पता चलेगा, बट आप में से सभी कोई करेगा नहीं. नॉर्मल तुम कर रहे हो, मतलब तुम्हारे लंग्स में अभी जो एक्सपीरियंटेड रिजर्व वॉल्यूम है वो रह गया है ना, उनमें टाइडल वॉल्यूम इज कमिंग व्हेन यू आर नॉर्मली expiring. So functional residual capacity is equal to that. That means it will be equal to always the residual volume जो हम forcefully expiration के बाद निकाल रहे हैं plus the expiratory reserve volume. What is vital capacity? So it is equal to tidal volume plus expiratory reserve volume plus inspiratory reserve volume. तो इसका एक दूसरा भी फॉर्मूला है. You can see here vital capacity का definition. After a forced expiration जो inspiration होता है, या after forced inspiration जो expiration होता है, that is called vital capacity. And last is total lung capacity is equal to residual volume plus ERV plus IRV plus. तो इसको इसीलिए आप बोल सकते हो vital capacity plus residual volume. Done? We move ahead. Riva, Priyanshu, any question? Kindly respond. We cannot hear you. What she is doing there? Riva, please respond. Riva and Priyanshu, kindly speak and confirm you understood it or not. So after completion of all these different types of volumes present in lungs, we will talk about parts of respiratory tract that is not helpful for gaseous. There is respiratory tracts is starting from external layer, that is nostril. But only lungs and inside lungs only alveoli is responsible for gaseous. All part is known as dead space. Why we are calling it so roughly dead space? क्योंकि वहाँ जो air है वो actually काम के है, it is maintaining the air pressure, which is helpful for inhale and exhale, but it is not used for exchange. So dead air volume is about 150 ml. यानी tidal volume में से dead air volume is 150. तो बचा कितना lungs में? 350. Okay. So there are respiratory cycles, which is known as an inspiration and an expiration. Normally breathing rate is 12 to 16 times per minute. ठीक है? एक बच्चा था, उसने लिखा था कि इंसान 72 टाइम्स मिनट में ब्रीथ करता है. So I told him you do it and show. अब क्या है, हार्ट अपना 72 टाइम बीट करता है. वो बेचारा कंफ्यूज हो गया. मैंने बोला करके बता तू बस 72 टाइम बीट. बोले लिखने से पहले सांस तो ले रहा है ना, तो लिखते हुए भी सांस ले रहे. तो डू नॉट मिक्स अप our breathing rate is quite slow because it takes some time to go to the inner part and come out from here. There is a respirometer or spirometer. This year you are supposed to have one practical with respirometer that is known as Gannon's respirometer experiment. I shared with you the concept of O-labs. So you go there and check the practical. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. So it measures the rate of respiration. That means how many times you are breathing in and out. You can see this person is using speedometer to measure. So now today the very important topic that we are going to discuss. बॉल ऊपर जाता है हॉस्पिटल में। हाँ, तुमको कोरोना हुआ था? ओ गॉड। गुड। मतलब जिंदगी में पहली बार मैंने सुना कि कोई पॉजिटिव हो तो दुखी हो जाता है। जनरली वी यूज द वर्ड पॉजिटिव फॉर good things, but COVID positive is not at all good, but nothing to worry beta. If we can take proper care and if we don't have comorbidity, COVID इतनी dangerous नहीं है। हमारी carelessness के लिए, जैसे I never sit with you there because I am going to remove that. Okay, and you should also not. Anyways, we will talk next about gaseous exchange. In this group for Priyanshu and Viva, I must say we have so many corona survivors. How many? 2. You are also. 2 बार हो गया। You are staying in that house. मैं तो कोरोना पेशेंट ने मुझे बड़े प्यार से हाथ से खिलाया था। लो मैडम खाओ, मैंने बनाया है। और अगले दिन सुबह 9 बजे मुझे फोन करके बोल रही है कि मैम मुझे ना कोरोना हो गया है, आई एम सॉरी। मैंने बोला आप सॉरी बोल रहे हो। So it all depends on your immune response. Okay, if you are having a healthy life and you don't have any track record of family for immune response, you generally fight easily from the diseases. The problem of corona is it is not deadly. Problem of corona is easy transmission. आज अभी भी अहमदाबाद में कोरोना पेशेंट है, किसी को पता भी नहीं है। Why we don't hear about them much? क्योंकि जितनी मेड है उतनी कोरोना पेशेंट है, वो जिंदा होके वहां से आ जाए। बट तब प्रॉब्लम कब होती है? जब अचानक से बहुत बढ़ जाता है। वी डोंट हैव मेडिकल फैसिलिटी एट दैट टाइम वी लैंड अप। ओके, एनीवेज वी विल टॉक अबाउट gaseous exchange now. So this is a very important thing. Twice it occurs. One, the air that is coming inside lungs will be exchanged with the blood. And second time, the air present in the blood will exchange with the tissue. So let us see the process. So you can see here, this is the closed loop of alveoli. You can see here in this case that it is full of arteries and veins. So as alveoli are having very thin wall and it is surrounded by, I should not call arteries and veins, it is surrounded by blood capillaries coming out of arteries and veins. So these membranes are so thin that air can be easily diffused from one place to another. So how it is decided? Have you ever wondered one question, that when we inhale air, are we taking only oxygen? Then why nitrogen and others are not going inside? Or is it going inside? Impurity. I'm not talking about any particle. I'm talking as such about air. Even if you have purest air in the world, what are the components present in the air? That means nitrogen is also going inside. No? What about nitrogen? This is the answer. Very good. Oxygen can be transported. That's why diffusion is done in that manner. So let us move ahead. So there will be pressure or concentration gradient. And gaseous exchange also will depend on solubility of gases. As your friend mentioned correctly, that solubility also measures. Hemoglobin form bond with oxygen and some amount of carbon dioxide. It's not forming bond with nitrogen. And solubility of nitrogen in water is very low. So then how it will go for diffusion? Thickness of membrane is very important part and surface area of respiratory membrane. Why lungs is so efficient? Why lungs is having alveoli? Have you ever wondered कि अगर एक ही single balloon like structure रहता क्या problem? इतनी सारी alveoli क्यों चाहिए? Very good. So that to increase the surface area. I wish to ask you one question. You have a scale and a comb of same length. Which one will have more surface area? Why? Because it has up and down part. Very good. So exchange of gases, that is pressure and concentration gradient. We talk about partial pressure. पढ़ चुके हो? States of matter chapter हो गया chemistry. Partial pressure क्या है? You know. In case of mixture of two gases, the PO2 plus PCO2, it is equal to P total. है ना? So partial pressure of oxygen and CO2. तो ये जो हम बोलते हैं ना oxygenated blood, deoxygenated blood, actually we are referring to what is present in more amount. जो oxygenated blood होता है उसमें भी CO2 तो थोड़ा होता ही है, but oxygen is present in more. So here is the table which is very important and you have to remember it, that in atmospheric air the partial pressure is 159 or CO2 for CO2 it is 0.3. In alveoli the partial pressure is 104 and it is 40. In deoxygenated blood the partial pressure of oxygen is 40 and the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is 45. So you can understand as there is a difference in partial pressure, oxygen will move from here to here. And along with it, some amount of carbon dioxide will also move. Should it move? You tell me. जाना चाहिए carbon dioxide को alveoli? नहीं जाने. That's what I intentionally told. It will not go. Why? 0.3 से 40 में कौन जाएगा? So now, as oxygen is going from outside to inside, now it is the term. In deoxygenated blood, the amount of oxygen is so low. So no oxygen here. Oxygen will move from alveoli to. Understood? Why? Because there is concentration gradient and partial pressure gradient. Isn't it? Yes or no? But carbon dioxide में will alveoli give air CO2 to deoxygenated blood? See where the concentration is more, where the partial pressure is more. CO2 का partial pressure कहाँ ज़्यादा है? Alveoli में deoxygenated blood में. So then how alveoli will give CO2 to deoxygenated blood? It will be exactly opposite. No? From here the CO2 will go to alveoli. Do you understand? Yes or no? Now consider the situation of oxygenated blood. Once deoxygenated blood receive oxygen and the deoxygenated blood release oxygen. यहाँ क्या process? What process it occurred here? यहाँ कौन सा process? O2 alveoli से deoxygenated blood में गया और CO2 deoxygenated blood में से कहाँ गया? Alveoli में गया. Yes or no? तो अब क्या deoxygenated blood deoxygenated रहेगा? There will be increase in oxygen content and decrease in carbon dioxide content. Same is observed. Now see the condition of tissue. In tissue, what is the condition? You can see it is very low. So oxygen will move from here to here and CO2 will move from here. Understood? And this is the pathway. I wish to talk definitely about that, but first I want you people to look into this table and understand by looking into the concentration gradient that which air is going there. So this is the alveoli here. You know that from lungs the deoxygenated air come to which part of heart? Right part of heart. From right part of heart, it will go to lungs. Deoxygenated blood from tissue will be received to the right part of the heart, right atrium. Then right ventricle, then it will go to lungs, where the deoxygenated blood will get oxygenated. And then what will happen? This oxygenated blood from lungs will come to left part of the heart, pulmonary vein. It is an exception, है ना? Pulmonary artery is the only artery which carry deoxygenated blood, and pulmonary vein is the only vein which carry oxygenated. So now these via truncus aorta or aorta, it will reach to the tissue, the oxygenated blood. So this is not very unique one. You already studied about it in your lower grade. So if you don't have any doubt, we will move ahead. So the whole process is explained that how PO2 and PCO2 is getting exchanged. Now we will talk about solubility of gas. The solubility of CO2 is 20 to 25 times more than the O2. So that's why the amount of CO2 that can diffuse to diffusion is much higher than oxygen. So diffusion membrane is made up of 3 layers. Squamous epithelium of alveoli, which is here you can see. Endothelium of alveoli capillaries. So endothelium is the wall of the capillaries, and there is a basement membrane located between them. That is the third layer. So through these 3 layers, the diffusion occurs. So it is totally 0.5 micron, that is micrometer thick. so which allows the passage of gas very easily. So surface area of, this is my favorite slide. Surface area of lungs is equal to a tennis court. And you are carrying a tennis court at your lungs. So you can understand, I always tell students of grade 12 the same thing, that today engineering is talking about miniaturization. They are slowly and steadily every day the size of laptop is reducing. Now we have almost laptop-like function in our watches, but we are carrying miniaturization inside us since long time. Okay, that is what I don't know I should say or not, God's creation. So we will talk about the next topic, that is gaseous transport, in our next lecture. Today what we studied, I want to revise one. We studied about different types of volumes, and we first studied about mechanism of breathing. Inspiration and expiration, what are the events takes place. Then we studied about different types of volumes. We found out the relationship between them, and then finally we found out how the gaseous exchange takes place. So in our next lecture, we will talk about how these gases are during exchange, to we understand where they are going and from where they are going to where. But how they are transported, that we are going to discuss in our next lecture. So bye to all of you. Bye, beta.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.